Hey, good morning. Good morning, students. School tomorrow. Messy hair today. Remember the code. Means okay, means back from the future, right? Like in those Back to the Future movies. Like I'm the wild haired professor from Mars. Not really from Mars, but from an era when ETs have made our life better, right? We've learned from the ETs. Now that sounds like garbage if you're in 2020, and this is the only second day of 2020 right now. But Martian math, if you've hung around here for a while, is just what we use, as you know, to promote an expanded curriculum and mindset, especially in the Oregon Curriculum Network, which the School of Tomorrow has produced. And we're not the only people calling themselves School of Tomorrow. It's not a trademark for any of us. For me, it comes off House of Tomorrow, which is a book and a movie. If you have access to IMDb, you can check it out in terms of what it was about. I'm doing show and tell here. There's a cookbook. Okay, so the things that you might be studying in the School of Tomorrow include cooking very much, right? Because of our Food Not Bombs heritage, cooking for groups, the Quaker thing, right? Not that Food Not Bombs is Quaker. I'm just saying they used our kitchen here for a while, according to popular myth, and I was there. It's not just a myth. Now, Math Adventures with Python is, I'm working with the author a little bit because we're not done with this stuff. Now, if you're trapped in a school, quote unquote school, that still uses like calculators of yesterday, like Texas Instruments, blah, 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 and they're not sharing Jupyter notebooks or any of this with you, I hope that you will be liberated, right? And so that brings me to politics. Dennis Kucinich. Now this guy is not running for president, right? Remember faux America, imposter syndrome, and all that. Um, but he did recognize about the deep state, which we call, that's just grunch, right? I should be clear. And Kucinich saw what was happening. It got very transparent, very amateur when Trump got to be president. Remember that? So that's when the deep state didn't. It seemed very shallow at that point because it kind of surfaced like a dead whale in a lot of ways. So I like Kucinich. Base politics. If you're at West Point, you already know about this. This is where we have simulators and we're rolling forward with the bases as to what do they do, what's their role in the global university, right? So if you haven't read this yet, it's probably in a class ahead of you, right? Because you're just coming online or whatever. It's not the first or only book, right, that we're going to read and simulate the basis, right? You know the games, right? Okay. War game, world game. You have to understand the segue there. I'm kind of reviewing, right? This is the beginning of a new year, and I'm just looking back over what we've covered. War against the weak. Remember this one, right? This is very important on our syllabus to understand social Darwinism, right? We understand that the labor value theory or whatever that all value comes from human labor. That was a view of this social Darwinist to some degree. Also the Marxists, which were a kind of social Darwinist. Okay, finally wrapping up C60. We used C60 in the last year a lot. I don't know about going forward. I met with the inventor yesterday. I gave him back his key for the Lattice Gallery, which was a very successful, in my account, pop up gallery downtown in Portland. And I used that to amplify the history of vector analysis as we teach it in the humanities, using the quadrate coordinate system as kind of this is not how you learn it in STEM, right? That's how we trademark it or spin it. Like if you're a conscientious stemmer, you're going to be saying squared and cubed all the time, and you won't understand why we're kind of snickering behind your back as humanities students. But we do respect STEM. It's just we have a different spin sometimes. Okay, I think that covers my show and tell for this morning. Um, this was just a more or less review. Things I don't know that, not all of you are actually that enrolled in this thing. Like, you don't know about trucker exchange program or any of that, PWS, GST. So if you're interested in all these memes and you want to know more, well, by the way, I do have Marianne Bookwalter's book to recommend. She's in the Solstice Party video a few videos back talking to my mom. Uh, Learning about World War II, right? That's important for us, and I think you've picked that up from here. One of the books in that syllabus, of course, The Jew of Linz. Now, when I share these books, if they have a you're saying, oh, that's been debunked. That's not true, right? This thesis in this book. Well, that's not why we read it, right? We're not looking for truth. We're not against truth. We have no problem with truth, but it's often more important to know what people think, right? And we know they don't think the truth, usually. Okay, we'll be talking to you soon, and Happy New Year in the ADBC calendar. We'll talk more about New Year and stuff like when we get to the Chinese New Year. All right, talk to you soon.